up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news. Over the past few weeks, it has been a long time, but finally we have a break in between games, and most likely the final break that we'll have before, of course, the World Cup begins and Barcelona matches come to an end. Got some time. We have a lot of news to get through. Of course, we have news that's been crammed in from about 2 weeks into this video. Firstly, Xavi and the Barcelona board have decided their priorities for the January and also the upcoming summer transfer markets. They want to sign a pivot, a right back, and also a striker as well. And we do have those options in those positions. Firstly, at the pivot, we've been hearing about Ruben Neves, N'Golo Kante, Zubimendi, Jorginho, and we actually do have the priority for Barcelona, who is the number one target. We have that coming up. Also, some striker options. We have Youssoufa Moukoko, Marcos Asensio, Nicolas Jackson. But the main striker option for Barcelona this summer, and probably the best free agent in the world, is, of course, Leo Messi, who has apparently been rumored heavily to be joining Inter Miami this summer. The best player in the world going to the MLS. Absolutely crazy. We do have an update on that, and also about the chances of Barcelona and PSG signing him this summer. And also Barcelona in the market in the Brazilian Wonderkids. They want to try and sign one. Of course, we haven't signed one since Neymar. We're looking at Endrick. We're looking at Vitor Roque. We'll have to wait and see which one the club decided to sign. But again, the club are in the market for the Brazilian talents, and they do want to sign one either this summer or next summer in 2024. We also have some contract renewal updates on Ousmane, Dembele, and Inaki Pena, Hector, Bellerin. Injury updates as well on Eric Garcia, Conde, Roberto, Kessie, Araujo, Depay, and also some general news surrounding Barcelona as well. New sleeve sponsor incoming. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 300 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market. They have fantastic qualities at fantastic prices. I ordered some the other day, and I got the treble winning jersey for Barcelona in the 14-15 season. The quality is absolutely unreal at a fantastic price. Look at the badge on the jersey. It is fantastic. You have the Nike logo as well, looking brilliant. It has the right tags, the right size, the right material, and it's at a fantastic price. And on their website, they do have the new Barcelona kit for this season with the Spotify logo. You can pick what badge you want on the sleeve, La Liga, Champions League. You can pick whatever number you want, whatever name you want on the back as well. And again, the material is absolutely unreal. Here I have the 2007 Champions League kit for Barcelona. As you can see, it has the UNICEF logo, the Nike, the Barcelona badge with the Camp Nou name around it. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout, 15% off, and all orders over $80 get free shipping as well. So go down below, top link in description, and get your new football kit today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 2 weeks or so. Now we're going to discuss firstly what are the priorities for Barcelona in the upcoming winter transfer window and also the summer of 2023. We have 2 games left, and then the transfer window will be very fast approaching, and now is the time during the World Cup break for Barcelona to plan out the next few transfer windows. Now, Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona want to sign a midfielder and a right back in January, but they'll be able to spend big due to the big investment made in the summer. They'll try to target players who are out of contract in 2023 and could arrive at a low price as well. Now, Fernando Polo also mentioned that Barcelona will keep their eyes out on the attack market, more specifically as a striker to, provide backup for Robert Lewandowski. Now, what is the actual priority? What's number one? We don't know yet. All we know that Barcelona really want is a pivot, replace Busquets, and also a right back. The question now is, who's available, what cost, what price, and which one is more attainable. We do have some big rumors about the pivot and also about the strikers, so let's get into that now. Let's start off firstly in the pivot position as Barcelona continued their search to find a replacement for the most likely 99% outgoing Busquets in the summer of 2023. Now, one of the first names that you all know about, we've heard that has been linked with, a lot with Barcelona, is of course Ruben Neves. Now, Joaquin Pereira, who of course writes for sports, he's number one source around Brazilian news. He's world class, top tier, but everything else other than Brazilian news, he's about 50-50. He came out saying that Ruben Neves is the player Barcelona have chosen to replace Busquets. There is an agreement over his salary and a transfer fee with Wolves. However, Barcelona have to make an important sale to sign him. He said apparently Barcelona want to sign Ruben Neves on loan in January with a mandatory buy option in the summer, but they had to sell some players to make that possible. But then Javi Miguel shuts that down, and he shuts this down on multiple occasions. He came out saying that Ruben Neves is not a priority for Barcelona to reinforce the pivot position. Now, I've always said this, and I'll say it again. I don't see Ruben Neves as a replacement for Busquets. I see him more as competition or replacement, you could say, for Frankie de Jong. I think Ruben Neves is a box-to-box midfielder in the Barcelona system. He could play the double pivot, sure. He could maybe play the single pivot in a 3-5-2 with Wolves, but for Barcelona, 4-3-3, I cannot see him as a pivot, and it looks like I am right as well. Fernando Porto from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona sees Ruben Neves as an interior and not as a pivot midfielder, which Xavi wants to replace Busquets. They don't understand why his name is being linked to being as a Busquets replacement. Xavi's chosen replacement in the DM position is very clear. It's Martin Zubimendi. Thank the Lord. I mean, I've been saying this for months and months and months. For me, I cannot see Ruben Neves as a pivot, although I do see Zubimendi. I've seen a lot of people tell me, oh, Zubimendi's going to cost a lot of money. He just renewed his contract. He did renew his contract, yes, until 2027, but he has the exact same release clause of 60 million euros, therefore not impacting his price. So for Zubimendi, I think it's definitely possible this summer. I would definitely keep an eye on him. But we have been linked with two players from Valencia as well as pivots. Firstly is Hugo Guillamon, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Fernando Porto from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona have good reports on Hugo Guillamon. He's a center back who's converted to a midfield and now has become a permanent pivot for Valencia. He has a release clause of 50 million euros. His passing, his defensive abilities as well are highly valued by the club. Now, I'm thinking, okay, decent young player, but I think right now we need more so of a high profile player. You have Busquets, the greatest pivot to ever play for Barcelona and in football, leaving. You need someone who's a bit more established and also is a natural pivot. Yes, he converted, but you can say he's been brought up as a center back mostly, so he can play. He's kind of reminds me a bit, of Alessandro Martinez, center back, CDM, can play both of those. So 50 million release clause for me is a bit too much as well. If they have a 50 million euro release clause, you're probably thinking their market value is probably around 35-40. I'd rather just pay that for Zubimendi. You can get Zubimendi for the price of Hugo Guillamon, so for me, I would stay clear. But the other Valencia pivot is, of course, your boy, Nico Gonzalez. There have been reports, of course, over the past few weeks saying that Barcelona are reconsidering calling Nico from his loan move from Valencia and bring him back in the squad. But unfortunately, that will most likely not be the case. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying there is no such clause in Nico's contract which allows Barcelona to unilaterally end his loan to Valencia in January. The only way Nico can come back to Barcelona halfway through the season is if the two clubs sit down and negotiate. There's also no clause included with the obligation to play a certain number of games. Gattuso already made it clear that their intention is to keep Nico until the summer. So if we want Nico, we have to sit down and negotiate with Valencia, most likely pay a couple million euros to get him back. I would definitely look at this option. I would rather, I tweeted this the other day, I'll say that here on the video. I'd rather bring back Nico on loan, from his loan move obviously, and sign a right back. Then sign a CDM and then sign no one else and have a right back still relying on Bellerin and Roberto. I think for me that's more feasible and, more taking advantage of the money that we have and the opportunity. I get it. Paying, 5 million, let's say, to get our own player back is a bit weird, but we'll wait and see. Again, Nico at the moment not getting too much game time. Gattuso had promised him, of course, during the summer, you'll play week in, week out. Nico accepted it, and now he's not. I don't know if it's because he's not training well, whatever the case may be, but definitely keep your eyes on this in January. I would say last 2 weeks when the club get desperate, you never know. But there has been, I think, alongside Zubimendi, two names that have been heavily rumored to join Barcelona in the pivot, and of course, they're both free agents. Firstly is Jorginho. Now, Joaquin Pereira again came out saying that Barcelona would be interested in signing Jorginho, and negotiations between the two parties have already begun. Mateo Alemany met his agent a few days ago. This might be controversial. Hear me out. I think Jorginho, free agent, is not a bad deal. He's not ideal. He's not my top 3, top 5, but free agent. I can see where the club's going with this, but Jorginho's priority is to renew his contract with Chelsea. His agent, João Santos, actually came out speaking to Mateo Morito from Relevo and completely debunking this report from Joaquin Pereira, saying that, look, I've never met Mateo Alemany before. Our priority is to renew with Chelsea, and they're the only club I've spoken to recently. So, you know, that could be favoring Barcelona. Jorginho's priority is to stay at Chelsea. Makes sense. I think if he is available, the club will be all over it. I've also seen reports that Xavi really likes him and sees him as a good option as that pivot. I think Jorginho could be, you know, he's that player that we talked about, like Diego Dalot. He's, you know, competition, could be in, could be out, but he's a good, you know, backup. That's how I see him. I don't really see him as a starter for Barcelona, but you never know. But the main priority to replace Busquets in the pivot this summer, Barcelona have identified him. This is the clear target. It's the other midfielder from Chelsea. It is N'Golo Kante. Juan Martí and Alberto Roque from Relevo came out saying that N'Golo Kante is the sporting sector and the coaching staff's favorite to be replacing Busquets this summer. Of course, the player is available as a free agent in June. When I saw this, I was like, huh. With N'Golo Kante, he's injury prone. I mean, the guy is dropping left, right, and center. He was apparently injured. He came back to training, relapsed, out for 3 months. He's out of the World Cup. Very, very injury prone. I don't even... Again, this might be controversial. Let me know in the comments down below. I honestly might rather take Jorginho than Kante. I think Kante is more so of a Real Madrid CDM, where you want the ball to be carried, you want him to press well. Isn't N'Golo Kante's passing good enough to pass the ball to the back, to the midfield, to the attack? Can he flow the ball like that? I'm not quite too sure. I have not seen him play that much. I would love to sign him when he left Leicester alongside Riyad Mahrez. If you go look at my tweets back in like 2015, 2016, I was drooling over them, but I think now the time is up. I think he's 29, 30 years old, but free agent. Again, the club don't have that much money and they want to capitalize on the free agent market. So I would mostly keep my eyes on N'Golo Kante and Zubimendi for that pivot position. If the club have money, they'll go for Zubimendi. If they don't, they'll go for Kante. Also keep your eyes on Jorginho as well in case he does not renew his contract with Chelsea. So again, Barcelona have some good options there in the pivot position. Of course, none of them are, there's no perfect option out there to replace Busquets. You could say Rodri, but that's impossible to get him from Man City. But there's no clear, you know, or even Kimmich as well. But there's no clear target, so the club are dabbling here and there, and they're going to identify, get a scout, and see who the right replacement is for Busquets. But at the moment, no doubt, N'Golo Kante is leading that race. Now, along with a pivot, the club are also keeping their eyes on the striker market to find a replacement, also provide a backup for Robert Lewandowski, and the club are very, very heavy right now in search of the market of the Brazilian wonderkids. First up is Vitor Roque. This is coming in from Roger Tolor from Mundo Deportivo. He's come out saying that Barcelona are closely following 17-year-old Brazilian striker Vitor Roque of Atlético Paranaense. I don't know how to say that. He's highly rated and Barcelona have outstanding reports on him, and Deco is endorsing his signing, and Atletico want around 35 to 40 million euros to sell him. Barcelona have watched Roque during several games and want to sign him next summer, but they'll try to reach an agreement with Atletico before that, and of course he turns 18 next February. Real Madrid and Juventus are also interested. So another, you know, up-and-coming talent in Brazil. We've missed out on quite a bit since signing Neymar. We missed out, of course, on Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., and other ones as well, like Richarlison and other players. So the club need to get their hands back in that Brazilian market, no doubt about that. We haven't had some Brazilian flair at Barcelona in a long time. Of course, Rafinha not really providing that for us at the moment. The price is too much for me, in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, the club are being touted out to spend around 40 million euros on a Brazilian wonderkid. But of course, the main name on the table for Barcelona is Endrick. And at the moment, we're losing the race. Joaquin Pereira, of course, from Sport, #1 source around Barcelona for Brazilian talents coming to the club. Very, very reliable. He's come out saying that PSG have actually offered 20 million euros for Endrick. However, Palmeiras want at least 35 and hence have rejected that offer. Barcelona made initial moves in September when he met with the player's agent, but since then there have been no approaches and no conversations with Palmeiras, to the point that Barcelona are now out of the race to sign Endrick, but they have informed him that they'll have to wait until next summer, 2024, for any kind of agreement between Barcelona and Palmeiras. Barcelona have a fluid relationship with Endrick's entourage. Barcelona were the first club to start working on the signing of Endrick, but recent results in the Champions League and El Clasico means that Barcelona want to focus on signing a defensive midfielder and a pivot for January and in the summer as well with the limited finances. Wow. I can understand where the club's coming from. I get it. There's other priorities out there. Do we need Endrick right now? No. Ansu Fati, Varane, Dembele, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Memphis. If Memphis leaves, you could bring in someone else. We have enough wingers and talent, right? I understand that. But this is the next big thing, and I really, really don't want to miss out on him. But of course, club has priorities, and I understand that. So we'll wait and see. I would say this, if the player waits until 2024, we have a chance. But if he wants to go this summer, 2023, reach an agreement early, preliminary agreement, say on loan for Primaris 1 more year, then go to wherever, I think we might miss out. We're looking at Real Madrid. They're very, very interested. PSG, Manchester United, of course, PSG have had an offer rejected of 20 million euros. So we'll wait and see. Again, right now, the club's 2 main targets in that Brazilian Wonderkid market are Endrick and Vitor Roque. We're looking at Vitor Roque being, the more likely option. Of course, Madrid and Juventus competition, but if Barcelona dwells in there and he waits for Barcelona, it will happen. The question now is that will Endrick wait for Barcelona until 2024? Most likely he won't, but again, you never know. Barcelona are very, very good at negotiation and persuasion, but definitely the club want to sign a new Brazilian Wonderkid from the Brazilian league. Now, alongside a Brazilian Wonderkid, the club are also looking for a striker right now, or a forward you could say, in the market to come in and possibly replace the outgoing Memphis Depay and provide competition for Robert Lewandowski. And there are 3 names currently right now on the free agent market category. Firstly is Youssoufa Moukoko, of course, the striker from Borussia Dortmund. Sport came out saying that Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and Paris Saint-Germain are keeping tabs on Moukoko, whose current contract ends in 2023. This kid is 18 years old and he's starting week in, week out for Borussia Dortmund. I remember us a few years ago being linked with him when he was 15, 16, 17 years old, around that. So the club have been following him for a long time, and for me, definitely, he's up there with like top 3 options to bring in this summer. If of course Depay leaves, I think it's a great talent. He can grow, and of course he can provide some good competition and give us that natural striker option off the bench as well. But if you want to go for experience, there are some options as well. Firstly, Nicolas Jackson from Villarreal. Again, Roger Tolor from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are closely following Nicolas Jackson of Villarreal. He is an option if Ousmane Dembele does not renew his contract in 2024 and beyond, although priority right now is to renew him. Jackson will be a free agent in 2023. Jackson is predominantly a right winger, but he's versatile and can occupy multiple positions. He has 8 starts this season for Villarreal and has 2 goals and 3 assists, but Unai Emery wants him at Aston Villa as well. Not the option for me. He's not a Barcelona player, let's be honest. I mean, this is not the. If we look at the squad that we have right now, he gets nowhere near it. I'd rather sign Moukoko 1,000% over Nicolas Jackson. He's giving me those Kevin Prince Boateng, Luke De Jong vibes. Quick, replacement, come in for a season or 2 and do a job. Don't really see this as a long-term solution for Barcelona, but you never know. If free agent market, we're going to be linked with absolutely everyone. And the one free agent that we've been linked with that's actually, starting to piss me off at this point is freaking Marcos Asensio. Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying the option of Marcos Asensio is generating an internal debate at Barcelona. Reinforcing the attack is not a priority for next summer, but he would arrive for free and be a good addition. And his agent is Jorge Mendes. This man has played for Real Madrid and Espanyol. Why in God's green earth would we take him? If we sign Marcos Asensio, Spanish bias, 1,000%. I think Xavi wants him on the simple fact that he is Spanish. I really, really do. We don't need him. We already have 4 wingers. If you see him as a, what you want to call it, backup or competition for Lewandowski, you're absolutely crazy. Yeah, he can play a false 9 or a striker, but he's a winger. It's basically like Ferran Torres, but a bit worse in my opinion. There's no reason to sign him. I would support him, of course, if he signs, but I would be very, very upset if we signed him, and also Madrid would rip him to shreds as well. I don't see it happening. I think it's just, a Spanish free agent who's decent being linked with Barcelona, because we're going to be all over free agents, so I can't really see this happening, but keep your eyes on it. These rumors have been going a lot since the last international break, and he could be an option for Barcelona. But if there's only one free agent who Barcelona can sign over the next 6 to 8 months, no doubt it would be Lionel Messi. As I've said 1,000 times on the channel, I'll say it again, until the World Cup ends, Messi's future should not be considered whatsoever. Every single rumor is going to be fluctuated and be, forced on the fans. But this is coming in from David Ornstein. He is top 2, you could say the best journalist in the world at the moment, football journalist, of course. He came out with a big article. He came out saying that Inter Miami are increasingly confident of signing Messi. Not fully agreed yet, but they now expect him to join and hope it gets done in the coming months. Talks will resume after the World Cup. PSG still want to renew him, and Barcelona will try as well. The best player in the world going to the MLS? You're mad. Look, I think Busquets, Suarez, Jordi Alba, Messi, they all want to link up in Inter Miami. I don't blame them, to be honest. I'll watch those games. I think that'll be sick. I don't mind that whatsoever. But Messi going to MLS now is criminal. Absolutely criminal. I think what's best for him, either stay at PSG or come to Barcelona 1 or 2 years, 1 year in MLS, then retire. Or maybe go back to Newell's old boy and then retire as well. I think it's too early. The man is too good. He's the best player in the world right now. Going to the MLS. You're mad. You're mad. Now, second best journalist in the world, you could say in the top 2, could be top 1, Fabrizio Romano. He also came out speaking about Messi. Now, this one I'm about to bring up right now is his opinion. Now, this man has the best links in the world, so I think his opinion should be taken under consideration. But keep in mind, this is his opinion, not news. He came out saying that my feeling that one day Messi to Inter Milan will happen. I'm told there are good chances. Miami have been working on it for a long time. But as of today, Leo hasn't communicated anything to Barcelona, PSG, or Inter. Messi will not decide now, but one thing, Leo is very happy in PSG. He's happy with the project and the atmosphere around the club, which with the club as well is very good. PSG want to push hard to renew Messi for at least 1 more year. It's an open race for Messi at the moment. Inter Miami for sure are dreaming of his signing, and Barcelona are also dreaming, but PSG have chances and will try their best to extend his contract. So Ramon is saying that, look, the Inter Milan rumors, they're real, they're there, but also anything can happen. I would be flabbergasted if Messi went to MLS now. It would be outrageous. But we'll wait and see. I think, again, until after the World Cup, don't listen, don't look at anything. I think right now it's all going to be rumors. If he wins the World Cup or loses it, does not matter. I'd give it until January the 10th at least, and then we can start considering stuff. But we'll have to wait and see with Leo Messi. Again, he probably will be the most valuable free agent in the world, alongside Ronaldo, who will also be a free agent as well. So we'll wait and see how this goes. But again, Barcelona are in the race for Leo Messi. Hopefully they'll try their best to sign him. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few weeks. First up is a player out on loan. Clement Lenglet scored the winner, of course, for Tottenham against Marseille. Shout out to him. Hopefully that means Tottenham will buy him. As we all know, there is no buy option in his loan contract currently with Tottenham Hotspur. But Fabrizio Romano came out saying there is, of course, no buy option for Spurs in Lenglet's loan deal. However, Barcelona and Spurs have a verbal agreement to discuss a potential permanent deal for Clement Lenglet, but it is up to Tottenham Hotspur. And some reporters even say there is already an agreed fee between the two clubs, and if they want to buy him Tottenham, they can. If not, they won't. So theoretically, there is a buy option, just not on paper. Look, 10 million, he's yours. Honestly, I mean, him coming back would be a pain in the backside. I saw a Barcelona Universal, by the way, tweet, "Oh, will you take Lenglet back at Barcelona? Are you mad? Are you mad? Get that garbage out of my face." He's absolutely ours. Hopefully he does well for Tottenham and they buy him. But again, no buy option in his contract. But there is a verbal agreement between Barcelona and Tottenham Hotspur with the price in mind, or to even negotiate in the summer. Now, current Barcelona player's future that is in the air at the moment is, of course, Memphis Depay. He will have 6 months left on his contract this upcoming January, but of course does have an agreement on the table with Barcelona to terminate it at any given moment. Now, Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Memphis Depay will take a decision regarding his future at Barcelona after the World Cup. The option of leaving the club is, of course, still on the table. Now, will the club let him go or not in January? For me, is a big question. I think it will depend on the competition that we're in, the form that we're in. I personally would not get rid of him. I'd rather let him go for free in the summer than sell him. Well, it depends on the price. If we get offered 10 million for him, I'll take it, but we haven't agreed with him to let him go for free now, so it doesn't make sense. I'd rather let him go for free in the summer, use him for this season, but we'll have to wait and see. And again, if he does leave, will Barcelona bring in a replacement? Asensio, Jackson, Moukoko, pay a little fee to those clubs, Villarreal, maybe Madrid and Dortmund respectively. You never know, but I can't see Memphis leaving until the summer. I think when the summer comes, his contract will expire. Maybe he does well, the Barcelona want to renew him, who knows. I think I'd rather keep Depay than bring in Asensio or Jackson, although Moukoko for me will bring up a debate for sure. But wait and see with Memphis. I think it'll depend a lot on how he does at the World Cup and also his future with Barcelona for the rest of the season. Now, a player who has been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few weeks, more specifically from the Italian press, is Franck Kessie. There are reports coming in saying that, oh, Franck Kessie offered himself on loan to AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus. He wants to play regularly week in, week out. I saw this and thinking, what the hell? This can't be real whatsoever. And it wasn't. Roger Tolor from Mundo Deportivo came out with a quote from Franck Kessie's agent, Jorge Antagana. Anyways, he came out to speak with Mundo Deportivo and denied that the player wanted to leave in January. His agent said these are fake news, totally false. Franck Kessie is happy at Barcelona. He's been at the club for a few months and he's still in the process of adapting to the team and Barcelona style of play. Therefore, it takes time and Kessie will continue working to earn his place in the team. I think in the summer, you never know. Again, an offer comes in, the club may consider it, whatever the case may be, but January, absolutely no chance. No chance. Of course, we'll have a Franck Kessie injury update at the end of the video, but he's not leaving in January. Absolutely no chance unless we get a ridiculous transfer offer. Okay, but loan offers, no chance. Kessie, I think, will stay at least until the end of the season. Now, a current Barcelona player who has threatened to leave the club is apparently our number 10, our star boy, Ansu Fati. This is coming in from Alfredo Martinez from Sport. He's come out saying that Jorge Mendes is said to have told Barcelona that Ansu Fati may consider leaving in the summer if he does not get any minutes. The club is calm because the player has a contract until 2027 with a €1 billion release clause. I've seen this a gajillion times. A player comes, not happy with the game time, he gets a chance, he starts playing, and then everything goes away. I think with Ansu, it's just about him getting the game time, him giving the confidence, him giving the ability to go out there and show his talent. Once that happens, I have no worries about Ansu Fati. We all know he's a world-class player, and again, Barcelona don't have to sell him. Contract to 2027, €1 billion release clause. We are definitely in the upper hand without a shadow of a doubt. If offer comes in and he doesn't play that much in the season, does not play well, the club may look at it for sure, but I think Barcelona have plans of the future with Ansu Fati being the face of the club. I cannot see the club selling him whatsoever, and I think Ansu Fati will come good as soon as he gets some more minutes, more game time, more confidence. He'll be one of the best wingers in the world, in my opinion. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, a contract renewal update on the renewal of our backup goalkeeper, Inaki Pena, who of course made his official debut a few nights ago in the Champions League against Victoria Pleasant. Now, Mateo Merito from Olivo has come out saying that Barcelona are already negotiating the contract renewal of Inaki Pena, which ends in 2023. Barcelona are aware that many clubs like Galatasaray want to give him a starting spot. He could sign a renewal for 3 or 4 years. Also, Canacer came out confirming the news as well, saying that Inaki Pena ends his contract in 2023, and the talks to renew his contract have already started. Pena's idea is to continue at Barcelona. I would keep Pena. I would offer him a little bit of a wage bonus, you could say. I think he's earning like 50,000 per week. Just bump that up to 80 or 70, something like that. I'd definitely keep him. I think he has big potential, big talent. We saw how well he played against with Galatasaray last season when he went on loan. I would also tell him, look, if you want to renew your contract for a longer period, 4 or 5 years, we'll definitely send you out on loan. Then we can have Arnaud Tenes as a backup for 1 year. That's definitely an option for me as well. But I see a future with Inaki Pena at Barcelona. I think Barcelona don't really have to buy another goalkeeper for another 10 years. We have Inaki Pena, Arnaud Tenes coming through. They both have the quality. They can play out with their feet. Brilliant shot stoppers as well. So no problem with Inaki Pena. I think he will end up renewing. I think you cannot rule out a loan move in the future, but I have no doubt that he will renew his contract with Barcelona. The next contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Ousmane Dembele. We're back again, boys. So 3 months off, and we're back. Every single news video, you're gonna get an update on Dembele's renewal again. We're back in full business, but hopefully the club this time are much earlier and do a much better job of the situation. Now, Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona have decided to renew the contract of Ousmane Dembele. Is now a priority alongside the renewal of Alejandro Balde. I think from now until the World Cup ends, the club want to start talks or have an idea of if they want to stay or not in the contract structure of both Alejandro Balde and Ousmane Dembele. Of course, Dembele most likely will go with France. Balde could actually go with Spain. You never know. I think the club want to talk with their agents, say, hey, do they want to stay? Okay, we're looking at the same numbers here, same wages, blah, blah, blah. Get those conversations started. Hopefully that's the case. But the club, look, they've been very, very good. They made mistakes, yes, but they never make the mistake twice. We saw Frankfurt. They shut down the stadium. Messi, they retained it. Economic levers, blah, 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 blah. So the club have made mistakes. The new board, let's be honest. But they don't make the same mistake twice, which I think is very, very important. Now, also on Ousmane Dembele, Sport came out saying that Dembele has almost gone a year without getting injured. Bloody hell. He worked with a personal trainer and has a dietitian. He now talks a lot in the dressing room, connects well with the youngsters, and Xavi also trusts him a lot, which is key as well. So different circumstances from the last time we tried to renew Dembele's contract, to say the least. But again, Dembele's agent, Moussa Sissoko, is going to be asking for the bank. I was told that he was very disappointed with the renewal because he's really pushing for that exit to get that big bonus. So I'll wait and see. I think right now, at this current moment, I would offer Dembele a renewal, but I ain't giving him anywhere near the money that he wants or that his agent wants. I'll probably offer him the same contract, maybe a little bit of a pay increase, like 10, 20,000, and then also a longer deal, of course, but we'll have to wait and see. This will not be easy for sure. There will be clubs in Europe that want him, and of course his agent will be pushing for those moves, but we'll have to wait and see how this one turns out. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Hector Bellerin. This is coming in from Miguel from AES. He's come out saying that FC Barcelona have decided not to renew Hector Bellerin's contract. He is expected to leave in 2023 as a free agent. I mean, sky is blue, grass is green the last time I checked, so ain't no problems with this whatsoever. Look, Bellerin was a stopgap. He was a patch. We all knew this from the beginning. Come in quickly, help the club out, then bounce. Of course, if you play well, we'll always remember you. You know, there is that lone Hall of Fame. You got Adama, you got Luke, you got Dani Alves, who came in for a bit as well, helped the club. There's always options out there for sure. So he could join that list. You never know, but I definitely don't expect Barcelona to renew his contract. What I am worried about, though, is Marcos Alonso. I think the club will renew his contract for sure. But always with Bellerin, he could, do a remontada, prove us all wrong. You never know. But at the current moment, the club are not planning to even open discussions over renewal with Hector Bellerin. They will let him leave for free in 2023. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First up, a new sleeve sponsor. As we all know, the club have been, negotiating a sleeve sponsor for about 6-8 months now. We still don't have one. We've been in advanced negotiations about 10,000 times. We got more. Raccoon came out saying that Neox will become Barcelona's lead sponsor. The goal is to make the deal official before the World Cup. And Neox is a cryptocurrency company. Of course, we talked with Polkadot, Whitebit. I mean, they're all over the place. We'll have to wait and see. And then the goal before to make it official before the World Cup. So we're talking before November 22nd, which of course is in the next 1 to 3 weeks. We'll see what the club do. Again, we do need it. We do need the extra money, and also we don't have a sleeve sponsor right now. This spot is vacant, trying to make some money. So hopefully we get this over the line. For me, I don't really care. And of course, the club can broaden the brand outside into the cryptocurrency world. So I got no problem with that whatsoever. But another way Barcelona are going to be making some money is, of course, with the Spanish Super Cup, with the winner getting an excessive amount of money. And now the schedule has been released. The game will be taking place on January 11th, and the final will be taking place on January 15th. Of course, it will be Barcelona versus Real Betis and Real Madrid versus Valencia. We're talking about the Copa del Rey winners in Betis, league winners in Real Madrid. I don't know how Valencia are in there. Did they get top 4? No idea. I think because they were in the final with Betis, so that's why they got in. And then, of course, Barcelona, second place in La Liga. So it's doable. We're looking at the El Clasico final, which, of course, the Spanish Super Cup Federation, the RFEF, are dreaming and drooling about. So I expect us to get to the final. The question is, will we win in the final or not? Is the deal breaker. We'll have to wait and see. It will be very, very intense, and also very, very important as well for Barcelona. And finally, we are going to be getting the offside technology in the RFEF Spanish Federation for La Liga, Copa, and Super Cup as well. Relevo came out saying that La Liga will have the semi-automated offside technology from the 2023-2024 season. It is already being used, of course, in the Champions League, and offers clearer and better pictures of offsides. I believe also it will be used in the World Cup. I don't know why, but the World Cup is always there to test out things. Of course, they tested the goal line technology, then they tested VAR, now they're going to test the semi-automated offside. You know what? It's better than the freaking referees in the box drawing the lines. I'll take it every single day of the week. So again, try to make the game better, of course, La Liga, so credit to them, and we'll have to wait and see how this integration impacts the game or not. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys some injury updates surrounding the first team at Barcelona. Of course, there is quite a bit. Firstly, on the very quick recoveries, of course, in Eric Garcia and Jules Koundé. As you all know, they both got injured against Valencia over the past weekend, and hopefully and should be fit for this weekend's match against Almira. Having Miguel from AES came out saying that Jules Koundé and Eric Garcia are not injured. They will be available for this Saturday's match against Almira. They didn't play against Victoria Pleasant during the week as a precaution. Hopefully that's the case. If we see PK and Alonso rock up as a center back pairing against Almira, we might be finished. But of course, in that Victoria Pleasant match, Barcelona did suffer a big injury in Franck Kessie. Like I said in the live stream, it's now officially been confirmed. Kessie will be out for about a month and a little bit. Having Miguel from AS came out saying that initial sensation indicated that Franck Kessie will be out for a minimum of 6 weeks with an injury in his left hamstring. And of course, the club yesterday morning did confirm the injury of Kessie. Here's a video of him leaving the match against Victoria Pleasant, limping and not looking too good. He's asked there, how do you feel? He kind of gave his hand like that and smirked, which means it's not good. Now you could say, oh, Barca boy, World Cup will be fine. He'll be back when we start playing again. That is true. Problem is, though, he's going to miss out on that match fitness, so that's going to be really, really disappointing. But he will be out for a month and a half. He should be back when Barcelona return to action from the World Cup, but he'll probably come back around December time. It is about a month and a half, so we're looking at he might be back like a week before we get back into action. It's that bad of an injury, so we won't see him this weekend and on Tuesday against Alemany and Osasuna, and he should be back for that final game of the year before the after the World Cup ends. Now, finally, we do have an injury update as well on Sergio Roberto, who, of course, as we all know, will be out for at least a month after, of course, he got that injury against Athletic Club a few weeks ago. He should be back, I think, around end of November, beginning of December time, so he should hopefully be fully match fit when we come back to action at the end of the month of December after the World Cup. Arujo somehow miraculously is about, it could be making the Uruguay squad, hopefully not. And that's pretty much all the updates, I believe. I don't think I missed anyone else. Oh, Depay, he should be back hopefully next week as well. This weekend, he's apparently a big doubt. But also Osasuna on Tuesday, he should be in that squad list. He'll probably go with Netherlands to the World Cup. Don't blame him. So overall, Barcelona do have some injuries, but they are recovering slowly but surely. And hopefully by the time the World Cup ends and we have our first match back from the World Cup, we will have a fully fit squad. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to firstly, of course, is that pivot position signing. Who would you go for? Jorginho, Kante, Zubimendi, Nico, maybe even Ruben Neves? Secondly, on Lionel Messi, what is your prediction? What do you think will happen with him? He'll stay at PSG, come to Barcelona, or somehow miraculously, in my opinion, go to Inter Miami. Thirdly, your thoughts on those Wonderkids from Brazil and Endrick and Vitor Roque. Who would you go for? Who would you prioritize? Do you think Barcelona will end up signing one of them? Maybe even both, probably not. And finally, your thoughts on those contract renewals of Inaki Pena, Hector, Bellerin, and also, of course, Ousmane, Dembele. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.